Let's move to Lou Williams, who was in hot water after he was seen at a gentleman's club in Atlanta while away from the NBA bubble. Now, Williams said he was there to get food, and he wasn't partying.
I mean.
Okay. He even has his own chicken wing flavor on the menu, though, Marcellus.
Right.
Williams is back in the bubble, but has to spend 10 days in quarantine and will miss 2 games after the NBA looked a little further into things and did an investigation. We joined now by the one and only Slick Rick Bucher. But Marcellus, I got to start with you, bro.
What?
Big deal or not that Lou Williams went out in Atlanta?
Y'all going to me first. I must know my history. You must know me. Oh, man, this is a little deal. This is not really a big deal. But we're going to make it a big deal. It seems like over the weekend, everyone wants to pile on Lou Williams. Let me tell you why it's not a big deal.
Okay.
He didn't leave the bubble to go to Magic City, even though that's the conflation going on right now. You left for a funeral. And if anyone's ever had an excused absence, you leave for that reason and priority. But while out, you may do other things as long as you respect the time commitment that you're supposed to leave and come back. And Lou Williams was on that schedule. Now, what did he compromise? He compromised some safety for others, whether it's his team, the bubble, et cetera. And I understand that. And that is a deal. That's why this is not a no-deal situation. Hey, Lou Williams, whether you could have had it delivered or you could have just stayed in the car and it could have came out because you got your own damn flavor on the menu like you have VIP services, you didn't need to put the extra on that and show up, then get into a clout with Jack Harlow, some rapper Laker fan dude who gonna put you out there for millions to see. You shouldn't be in that predicament. But all that said, Lou Williams left the bubble. Let's keep our mind on why he left in the first place. For a legitimate reason. While out, you're allowed to live, even though this situation in the pandemic makes it look like it's bigger than it is.
Marcellus, before I address this, for those watching who may be a little ambiguous as to where Lou Williams was, can you just please let the viewers know, like, what Magic City, it has a very ambiguous name, sir. Can you just clarify?
Magic City is it's a nude ballet for a lot of people who like to go and eat. It's a part of the community, a fabric fabric of the community. But it's not much fabric once you go inside there. I'll just let y'all know that. But the point of it is, it's an establishment where you go to be entertained, and it's actually something that people go on ladies' nights. They just go to hang out. I got into a lot of arguments with a lot of my Atlanta friends about how this is just the Roscoe's of a nude ballet.
So basically, it's like Chuck E. Cheese. No, it's a big deal, Marcellus and Slick Rick. It's a big deal for 2 reasons, though. Not because my dog was hungry and wanted some hot wings. Apparently, the food there smacks. That's not why. Because we always have to look deeper. Who's going to win this championship? I told you and I told Slick on Friday, it's not just about talent. I told you and I told Slick on Friday, it's not just about the depth chart. I told you this, it's about leadership. That's what this title is going to come down to, leadership. And if you're not only doing 2 things, Marcellus, and watch your yawn, okay, watch your jaw. If you're not, you're doing 2 things. You're making 2 pivotal errors. Number 1, safety. That's the first issue is you're putting yourself at risk, but you're putting other people at risk. But I'm not going to get into the safety aspect of it because it's a sports show. So let's talk sports. You're risking your team's chances of winning this chip because now you got to miss 2 games because you wanted to do what? Go get some wings? Uber Eats, bruh. Postmates. Do something. But now you got to miss these games. So this just goes back to my first point of it's a huge deal because he's hurting his team's chances. That's why it matters.
First of all, how do you get wings at a strip club named after you? That's the story about Lou Williams that I really want to know, man. We got to follow up with that.
Yes, sir.
Everything that I know about 20-something men in general and professional athletes in particular makes me want to say that this is not a big deal.
Yes.
But when I think about what the Clippers are after and who they are and what it's going to take, I can't help but say that it's a big deal.
Talk about it,
Slick. Acho's point.
Talk about
this is not just on paper, the Clippers have what they need. But this is also a Clippers team that has taken the slow lane to really bringing themselves together and being the dominant team that they can be. When I talk to any of the GMs, coaches, or players about this bubble, they have said the number one challenge, the number one asset that you're going to have as a team is your mental toughness. Now, I know from players that the league didn't do a great job of outlining exactly what you can and can't do.
Boom.
But Lou going to a strip club and then saying, I only went there for the food, just hits me all kinds of wrong. And by the way, you're going from Florida, which is a hot spot, to Georgia, which is an equally hot spot, and putting yourself out in the public. The possibility that you would bring the COVID back to your team, and not only you, but a multitude of guys might have to be quarantined, and what that might do to your playoff or your championship chances, I can't help but say, this is a big deal.
Y'all some old curmudgeons. Some old...
Here Marcellus go.
Excuse absence, he goes to a restaurant. This is really some stripper shaming what we're doing here, because if you'd have went to, I don't know, a Crab Shack or something, everybody, oh, Lou Williams was at Crab Shack, and he had his NBA mask on. It was so cool to get a 6-foot distant picture of him. But since he's at the strip club, all of a sudden, his mind got to be off. He can't be focused on the eye, on the prize, all that kind of stuff. Michael Jordan used to do this kind of stuff. Not on camera, all the time. We're having Atlantic City and all those kind of escapades and things of that nature. And it didn't hurt Jordan. Like, y'all acting like we've never been on teams before and breaking curfew is all of a sudden the way we're not going to win the championship.
Come on, Marcellus, bro. There's a difference, bro. There's a difference, sir.
Can I tell
There's
you
a difference between a family game night, okay, playing Taboo, and being in Magic City, sir.
No, well, I don't know. Have you been to Magic City?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
I've been playing Taboo, though.
Oh, it's taboo. Let me say this. The cover-up is worse than the crime here. That's what's wrong. Jack Harlow lying and keep lying and then deleting tweets. And then Lou Williams sitting there trying to see how it's all going to play out. Didn't necessarily come out on his own volition initially and say what it was. And then he tried to downplay it, but finally he fessed up for it. Here's the thing. Lou Williams finally went Lou Williams. If anybody knows about Lou Williams personally, you understand that this was just inevitable. My man got multiple girlfriends. Lou Williams be having the biggest, baddest, freshest off-season parties ever at his crib. They look like festivals, and it's at his crib. Like, Lou Williams is always a guy who's toed the line in terms of off-the-court activities, and this time he stepped over that line. I respect that. That's why it's a little deal, not a big deal.
You respect that?
Yeah, because this is who he's always been for a team that has championship aspirations. Think about this. What this really is, and we've all been there, grade school. Mama, I can't go to school today. Oh, okay, baby. Stay home today and make sure you stay in the bed and get your rest and eat your soup. That's cool at 7 a.m. About 10:30, 11, you start feeling kind of good, right? And now you got a dilemma. Do you stay in the bed and say, Mama, I told you I was sick and I'm going to be sick all day? Or do I go outside and play with my Tonka trucks a little bit? Lou Williams went out and played with his Tonka trucks just a little bit, and now everybody's going to act like he's not dedicated to his craft. To me, that's conflation.
Marcellus, can I ask you a question, sir?
Sir, yes, sir.
Who is the Clippers' biggest competition in the West?
Ourselves.
No, sir. The biggest competition in the West is the L.A. Lakers, sir. You've admitted that on camera yourself.
Oh, and they don't have distractions?
The Lakers have a player by the name of Alex Caruso, his own sister, sir. His own flesh and blood was getting married outside of Austin, Texas.
There we go.
But you know what Caruso said? He said, I ain't going.
Because he needed to play.
He want to win a chip.
No, because
that's what he wanted to do.
He needed time on the court.
No, sir. He wants to win a chip, so he ain't even go to his own sister's wedding. Meanwhile, you're making an excuse, sir.
Wow.
See, you're telling on yourself.
Alex Caruso.
You're letting me know what kind of guy you are, sir. He wants to win a chip, Alex Caruso.
Man, he just wants some time.
You making an excuse for Lou Williams, who, to your point, is a bigger leader on his team, for going to a strip joint. An excuse maker is what you're doing right now.
Where's Avery Bradley right now, since you want to talk about distractions? Where's Avery Bradley right now?
Slick.
Oh, he got quiet on the set. I thought so.
Please.
No, look, Marcellus is right. The Clippers' biggest challenge are themselves.
Yes.
Lou Williams going to a strip club and stepping out when it could infect his entire team doesn't show me championship mindset at this point. And we're only talking about a couple weeks into this thing.
Just a couple weeks.
This is going to be a slog. So if he's already trying to find ways to skirt the rules, what's the chance that a month from now he's not going to get itchy and try to do something else? That's what scares me about this. And by the way, this is the first time Lou Williams has been on a team this good that could legitimately say it has championship aspirations. So what are you about? Getting some wings, getting some entertainment?
Talk about it, Slick. Talk about it, Slick.
Down and trying
Talk
to
about it, Slick.
That you never had a chance of winning before. Here's the other part. The bigger issue for me is that I think it's unreasonable for the NBA to think 300-some 20-something men are either going to be celibate or that they are going to break their normal means of blowing off steam, social diversion.
Slick.
Like, this ain't going to be the last thing.
Slick. Calm down, Slick.
Taking up yoga and transcendental meditation to be able to cool off.
Hey.
There could be some other incidents that happened, but the fact that Lou was the first one out and then had such a weak-ass excuse. I mean, come on. At least say, I went to see a buddy of mine and he didn't show up and I decided to have, I mean, do something.
They got wings in his name. He can't go get one? What the hell is weak about that? You know what? The NBA forced these guys to now go into the, quote, family emergency kit. Now, Lou Williams had a legitimate reason, a funeral. Sorry for his loss. But there's been a lot of family emergencies around the NBA bubble right now. It's, you know, in our days, we used to call it back injury or tendonitis or flare-ups. Like, Coach, I ain't with this right now. Like, give me a pardon from all this work. But the thing about it is, let's stop making the equation that Lou Williams left to go get some wings and go see some ladies. Let's stop making the equation that you can't win a championship or become a Hall of Fame player because if you have some entertainment balance issues, that all of a sudden you're not focused. And I think I'm hearing that from you, and especially from you, Acho. How dare you?
We are in the middle of a pandemic. This isn't the Jordan era of the mid-'90s when he was just going to where he was trying to go after a game. Going to Magic City, going to a strip joint during a pandemic, sir, is far different than going in the offseason when you're not putting nobody else at risk. But since Slick went there, Marcellus, shall we go there?
Always.
Slick, because you brought up a point. You said these NBA players, these 20-something-year-old men, and Lou Williams was the first.
Yeah.
The most concerning part, Marcellus, if we can be real, remember camp eyes? Marcellus, you remember that term?
Oh, yeah, as soon as you got there. Hello.
Camp eyes, bruh. Slick, you know, when you in camp too long and you just around your fellas, you around your bros, it's good to see you, Marcellus. You good? You
what
good?
up,
Yeah,
wow.
I was camp, you know, everything Gucci.
But
after a while, bruh, everybody of the opposite sex becomes a little more attractive because all you done seen is your boys. Marcellus, you good? You good? Yeah, I'm good. See, the problem is Lou Williams, he already ate the bait, Slick. And you hit the nail on the head because we only in week 1, week 2 of the bubble, and Lou Williams already at the joints? Hey, Marcellus, this does not bode well for your squad, big bruh. This does not bode well for your squad. I'm sorry.
Download the all-new Fox Sports app now.